A full military funeral for a Defence Force officer who was killed while at Government House.
The Department of Social Services has launched an investigation into those viral videos involving minors.
Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Welcome to Our News and thanks for joining us. I'm Kyle Joaquin. Topping news tonight, the family of two teen girls are happy they are home safe tonight after they were reportedly abducted, robbed, sexually assaulted and held for ransom. Chief Superintendent Solomon Cash told Our News over the phone that the incident happened just before midnight.
Two teens were kidnapped in the area of National Court, which is in the McDonald's. Subsequent to that, we've been told that the suspected person made contact with family members requesting payment in return of the two teens.
According to Cash, the teen girls are of legal age, but still teenagers. Police now have 3 men in custody in connection with the incident. Cash wouldn't say how much in ransom was asked, just said the girls were held for about 3 hours.
Police mounted an operation. However, these police were able to elude the police. They were able to locate both female victims who were in good health. But they are alleging that they were kidnapped, robbed, and sexually assaulted.
A Defence Force officer who was shot and killed while on duty at Government House has been laid to rest. Jared Hicks tells us the family offered a sharp critique of the organization their loved one served for more than 30 years.
Family, friends, and fellow officers gathered at the Church of God Convention Center where they said their final farewell to Petty Officer Philip Rapal.
Rapal's 8-year-old granddaughter Mila is just a small part of the family he leaves behind. The 52-year-old was remembered as a hard-working, decorated officer who loved his family and working with his hands.
My brother took a bullet for each of his children.
The more than 30-year veteran was shot and killed while on duty at Government House in the early morning hours of April 28th. A fellow Marine, 35-year-old Javon Seymour, has been charged with murder in relation to his killing. Giving a tribute on behalf of the family, Rapal's brother, Tyrone Rapal, reflected on his brother's admiration for community and helping where he could. However, his speech was laced with criticism, including of the officers present during Rapal's killing.
This is a national disaster. This is mutiny from within the ranks, with no instantaneous reaction from his colleagues. A demoralizing blow to the Royal Bahamas Defence Force. It can be seen as a terrorist act, a serious security breach questioning their system integrity, and the appearance of a couple with the hope that it will quickly go away. This family is watching.
The criticism didn't stop there. Rapal's brother offered a scathing rebuke of the Defence Force, saying his brother was often overlooked by the organization's higher-ups.
When he went on the family island, people knew good work. People knew quality people. And it was those same people who came back and assist for him to work for them. The Defence Force banished him and threw him at extra mob duties and detention duties, while others, not so decorated, were put forward. But he took his assignment. He endured all the abnormalities and just kept plowing as a loyal Bahamian citizen.
With the top brass of the Defence Force assembled at the front of the church, Rapal's brother blasted the organization for not allowing his brother to leave training almost 30 years ago to visit his mother before she died.
This same Defence Force gave me and my sister a hard fight in 1988 when we came to you to ask you to let him out of the training to mourn his mother's death. He was in training and they thought maybe he was going to jump ship. But Mummy died in the middle of that training. She never knew him as a Defense Force officer. He felt slighted that he was not standing by during Mummy's final minutes. This same Defense Force assigned him to assist families following emergency disasters. He would have made contacts, and these same individuals would call on him to perform, to advise, and to oversee their project, as he was respectful. He was kind, he was honest, and he was open.
Harsh words from a family trying to cope with a sudden loss. Prapal's son, 23-year-old Malik Prapal, was emotional as he paid tribute to his late father.
This is very hard to say goodbye to the ones that you love the most. And I loved Daddy, I loved you.
A peacekeeping stint in Haiti and stints with the Defense Forces Commando Squadron are among the high points of Prapal's career. Commodore Tellis Bethel and Education Minister Jeffrey Lloyd offering words of comfort.
Without a doubt, Petty Officer Prapal's professionalism and commitment to duty over the years have contributed significantly to the Royal Bahamas Defense Force being recognized as a model of excellence in national service. We are truly grateful for the hard-working and highly dedicated members of the Defense Force who have dedicated and who have sacrificed life and limb for the safety and security of our nation.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Jared Higgs.
Bahamas Power and Light does not have sufficient generation to meet the current summer demand on New Providence and has to conduct load shedding on the island. According to a statement sent out by the power company, generation shortfall is expected to continue into next week. But this isn't welcoming news to BPL consumers.
I really don't appreciate it because I am one every month. I pay all my bills. I pay my electricity bill in full. And it pains me that when you have things to do like washing, the light goes off.
Denise Farrington says though she pays her power bill on time, her electricity still goes off. And it's the same problem thousands of BPL customers have had to deal with over the past few days as the company battles a power generation shortfall. In a statement Wednesday afternoon, BPL said the load shedding of the last week is due to the reality that BPL has at present insufficient generation available to meet the demand on the system. Demand has begun to increase toward the summer peak, as is customary at this time of year. It continued, "We acknowledge the inconvenience and frustration this causes and assure all that we are committed to improving our ability to prevent load shedding and ensuring better customer service when we are forced to employ that tool." But BPL load shedding isn't anything new and has been a norm during summer months for quite some time in Nassau. Only problem, summer isn't here yet, and already customers like attorney Philip Lundy are being plunged into darkness.
It hit me hard, as a businessman and as a residential consumer. It's really, really difficult to have this load shedding going on. As you know, in the past, it has affected it's actually burned up my computers, and I've lost a fridge in the past too. So hearing the news, it's more deja vu, but it's not good news.
I have bags under my eye due to last night, BPL went off around about, I think it's around 11 o'clock, and I actually thought I slept, but I didn't. Because I had the proof under my eyes.
Wow. It was
Seriously
hot.
speaking,
So you were hot.
I tossed and turned all night.
In just a few weeks, the company is expected to have several new engines up and running, in addition to one more rental generator set to come on board next week. And while many, like Pamela Brown, sweat it out, there are those with a generator, like Dr. Kevin Alcina, who are a bit more understanding.
We are growing, and they are load shedding in the United States. They are load shedding in Europe. So we're no different from these developing countries.
So you're also understanding?
I'm very understanding. I appreciate the government effort in terms of upgrading our system at BEC.
In its statement, BPL apologized and said the company is seeking to minimize the disruption to its customers by scheduling any needed load shedding appropriately. For these customers, they say they'll just have to wait it out.
Well, what can we do? What can we do? We'll just have to grin and bear it.
The woman believed to be behind the abductions of 4 young boys will have to wait another week to see whether she will be released on bail. 29-year-old Deidre Gibson is accused of abducting 4 children in 4 separate incidents. Gibson's attorney, Howard Thompson Jr., argued for bail. Gibson was previously held at Sandilands Rehabilitation Center for a mental evaluation. She was this week deemed fit to stand trial. Justice Gregory Hilton said he will give his decision next Thursday. Well, social media over the last few weeks has been littered with videos of minors, the most viral video being that of one involving a child identified as Muffin. Well, the Department of Social Services said they are investigating that and all viral videos involving juveniles. With more on this, here's Jillian Gray.
After several videos involving minors made their rounds on social media this week, the Department of Social Services says they are actively looking into these matters.
The protocol will be followed, certainly the law will be followed in relation to those matters. So what we do depends on the circumstances we find when we finish our investigation.
Over the last 2 weeks, there were several videos of minors that created a frenzy on social media. The most popular one was of a young child who was ordered to clean a room by a woman.
I said, clean up this room! Go clean the room up!
The young child, who was crying and screaming, repeatedly refused, and a scuffle can be heard. At the end of the video, the young child can be seen jumping a fence and walking towards a bushy area. Assistant Director in charge of Child Protection, Shirley Kelly, said that video was very discouraging.
As a professional, it really hurts because not only is the child affected, but the entire community. Okay, the child has friends at school, then there are parents, there are siblings of these children, and aunts, uncles, etc. And all of these persons are impacted.
She added that when the public sends these types of videos out, they are clearly not concerned about the child. Under the Child Protection Act, a person can face penalties for revealing a child's image if it is found that those images are harmful to the child. As it relates to these cases, that will not be determined until after the investigation. Senior Assistant Director of Child and Family Services, Charlamagne Fernandez, said the public should seek to resolve, not compound the problem.
The entire behavior is wrong. It should not happen. We should not condone it. We should not further damage the child by disseminating the information for the purpose of gossip. We should instead refer these matters to the authorities so we could address these matters properly.
Many of the videos sparked a conversation about punishment and discipline. Fernandez said child abuse is a tremendous problem in the Bahamas, adding it's a national issue that needs a national response. She said there are many ways to discipline a child and parents should find an alternative to beating.
Children in this generation are challenged by a lot more difficulties than they were in the past. They have a lot to take on. Sometimes they're given adult responsibility too early. They're under a tremendous amount of pressure. So methods of yesteryear will have to be adjusted to accommodate what's happening in our society today. They have a lot going on with them, and not much effort being made maybe to understand what their difficulties are and address them appropriately.
For parents that need help, Fernandez said the department has programs for children, proper parenting, and free counseling. For help, or if you suspect a child is being abused, Social Services encourages you to contact their hotline at 322-3763 and 422-2763. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jillian Gray.
Thanks, Jillian. Still to come, government examining laws to end cruise ship dumping. Stay tuned.